Welcome to the C3PO show, back here in LA, of course, talking about the Seattle Seahawks upcoming draft class. And we are talking about offensive line, the biggest concern for the Seattle Seahawks.
Been the biggest concern for a long time.
I'm sure Russ is paying very close attention, taking notes, has been.
Yes.
And, we're going to lead you off with the guy that we think is the top guy.
Yeah.
Potentially, a lot of analysts everywhere are saying this guy is going to be the Seattle Seahawks first pick, and I don't doubt it one bit. Cam Robinson out of the University of Alabama. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Oh, no, don't Roll Tide. But,
had a great combine, everything you'd expect. He plays for Alabama, so he's a winner. And, he's a big, strong guy. We need a left tackle. Right now we have a basketball player there playing left tackle. George Fent doing everything he can. No disrespect to George Fent, but I want somebody that's more familiar with the position. What do you see from Cam Robinson that maybe some others don't, or just what do you like about him?
Yeah, Cam Robinson is definitely going to come in and solidify that run game for you. You know what you're getting in the run game, and I think that's what you like, especially with the Seahawks offense. They always tend to go towards guys who have proven themselves to be great run blockers, and then they work on their pass game. So kind of a Seahawk already in that way, and somebody who's just a special talent who every year there's always those couple of guys at each position that people really look at and say this guy is going to be a top talent in the league for quite a long time. And I think that guy this year is Cam Robinson. He's dropping a little bit. I think the reason he's dropped in the draft scouts' minds is because of his pass blocking. They don't know what they're getting out of him. The Alabama's offense is not known for pass blocking, and so you don't know what you're going to get out of that side of him. But I definitely think that in the run game, you know what you're getting. I think that's a big reason that people see him drop into the Seahawks at a perfect selection where they're at.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He blocked for Derrick Henry, made Derrick Henry look like the best running back in the game. And if you look at Bo Scarborough, he didn't have the worst year this year. So, I really like what I saw from Cam Robinson. But, just like everyone else, I want to see what he can do pass blocking, especially in the Seahawks offense.
Yes.
Kind of going away from that beast mode run and trying to give him the keys to the Ferrari to Russell Wilson. So.
Yeah.
And I'm all for that as well. So, but definitely need to protect Russ back there, and I think Cam is a perfect fit.
Yeah, and if we're looking for an all-around type of guy, I think a guy like Forrest Lamp is more of someone who you think can do a little bit more for you all the way around, an all-around player. Just run blocking, pass blocking. He played against Alabama actually this past year. That was his one ranked team out of Western Kentucky, so they don't play a lot of top competition. But he's a strong guy. Physical, strong, and I think that fits in well with the Seahawks too. So I think they have a couple of good selections there that they could go with at that top pick, first round pick for the Seahawks. What do you see out of Forrest Lamp that intrigued you?
I really liked his combine. I will say that Mike Mayock, if anybody else watched the combine, was oozing over this guy. Really liked everything that he saw, and I was a little skeptical at first, and I still am a little skeptical. I like what I saw. When you play at a school like Western Kentucky, you don't play the top tier competition week in and week out. I need you to dominate, and I will say he did. He did dominate. His quarterback had an extremely great season, as well as his running back. They all did very well, and they win as he win. A lot of the game that we watched, the team the running back would cut based on how he was blocking, and the rest of the line. I don't want to put them down, but they weren't making my man look good. And, it was tough. The running back would decide whether to cut back or not. And it was a great blocker. There were great blocks by Mr. Lamp. But, it was just how the cookie crumbled for him.
Yeah.
And, he at this level, you play with a lot better talent. And he is a great talent. I think it will be, like you said, one of the staples in the league, hopefully, on an offensive line. Hopefully the Seahawks, if we can get him. But I think he definitely deserves to be up there in one of the first 2 rounds, maybe third round. Hopefully, probably won't last till the third round. Offensive line, you generally go pretty quickly, especially when there's not a whole lot of them. But I really like everything that I saw out of Forrest Lamp. He dominated lesser competition, which is what you want to see from a guy that doesn't play top competition each and every week. But that's another thing that you want to see. I want to see him go up against some of the top tier guys. Like you said, we watched the Alabama game, and he had some good tape. Obviously some blocks he missed on, and you can't expect everyone to be perfect all the time, especially with the a defense like Alabama has, I mean, it's pretty much impossible to be amazing every single play.
And it seemed like him versus the whole defensive line of Alabama, and he held his own.
Exactly. He really handled that defensive well. And, unfortunately, the rest of his team wasn't as successful as he was. But if you watch the film and you just pay attention to just him, he did a great job back there. Did everything he absolutely could. But, it's everything. When I saw from him on film is everything you want to see from a guy that plays for a school like Western Kentucky. But moving on to another guy that plays for a little bit better school, Utah, Pac-12, something we're very familiar with. Being from the Northwest, but out here in LA, also Pac-12 town, USC, UCLA, right up the street, actually right down the street from where we are. But we're going to talk about Garrett Bowles.
Yes.
Garrett Bowles made his quarterback and his running back, the Williamses, if you will.
Yes.
Not Serena and Venus. I apologize. This is we're talking Troy and Joe here. They had great seasons, both. I can't say Troy Williams was on a whole lot of maps before this season, and Joe Williams definitely wasn't on a whole lot of maps. This is his first real season at Utah, and they went with Garrett. And, I think you liked what you saw out of Garrett, so I'm going to let you get into Garrett.
Yeah, Garrett is I think he's probably the looking at him, when you're just the eye test. He passes it with flying colors. He just looks like an NFL offensive lineman, someone who can just dominate at the point of attack, and athletic. That's the thing I really liked when you saw him pulled out out of the tackle and run guys over too. So both physical, athletic, someone who could really see dominating in the league, and just looks like they have what it takes. There's some guys, some offensive linemen who just have that look, of being great. And I think that Garrett Bowles is one of those guys. And I think that the Seahawks will have a lot of options, it seems like, in that first or second round with top-tier talent for offensive linemen. So it's a good position to be picking at this year. And I think that one of these three guys could definitely be this next starting left or right tackle for the Seahawks. But moving inside, I think there's another guy out of Indiana, a team that hasn't gone to a bowl game or had a winning season since 2007. Not even a winning season. And have not won a bowl game since 1991. So that tells you a little bit about that program. Not a great program. The quarterback, wide receivers, running back, everything else, not very good. But he was good. He was a good interior offensive lineman, strong, physical at the point of attack. And what did you see from Dan that you kind of liked?
From Dan Feeney, the thing that put him on the map, especially playing for a team like that. And again, no disrespect to Indiana, but the numbers speak for themselves. A guy that allowed 0 sacks in 2015.
0 sacks.
None. And playing for, obviously, a team that doesn't get top-tier talent. It's not the USCs, the Alabamas of the world. This is, I don't want to say the bottom of the barrel, but it's pretty close. It's pretty close. And fortunately for him, he really balled out, obviously.
Yeah.
If he's in the conversation with these guys in the top of the draft and teams really like him, especially back or a quarterback that really popped out in the last couple of years, and if he was able to stand out like that in that conference, then, he's got to be a great player. I saw some great things, some great hip fluidity, great footwork while I was watching the combine. I was really impressed with him. He's somebody that wasn't on my radar initially, and you can't say that he played for a winning team or anything like that. So that's obviously going to be a hit on him, is that the guys behind him, the skill players, didn't have spectacular or stellar seasons. Obviously something that you want from your offensive guys, but with better talent around him, we'll see how he produces. And I think that he obviously could be a major steal if he is as good as advertised. Another guy that I think is going to be pretty good, well, I was impressed with anyways, I don't know how you feel about him, was Avante Collins from TCU.
Yes.
He's a guy that was the fastest and strongest with Forrest Lamp. They both put up 34 reps in the bench press. Very impressive. But ran a 4.81 as an offensive lineman, just a physical specimen, the strongest and fastest. But TCU, not a powerhouse. It's not like you heard a whole lot of things coming out of TCU this year. Is there anything that you liked or didn't like about Avante Collins?
Yeah, Avante Collins, I think, is like you said, just an athletic player, and those always seem to be like picks that the Seahawks like to make, a little bit later in the draft. So someone a little bit later, not that top tier talent, but somebody who could come in and Coach Cable could teach him up. I know they like to do that. You know, they like to find athletic talent from basketball, you know, and baseball. I'm sure they'll start getting into wrestling here soon. We may even have some softball players on the team before you know it. So, yeah, Vontae Collins definitely above softball, I think. Definitely a good football player, but it's someone who's not top-tier talent, but a good project.
Exactly. I like that. You know, it's he comes with the intangibles that you'd want from a project player. And if anybody was able to turn him into a great player, it would be Tom Cable.
Yeah.
So, that's all we have. I know there's other offensive linemen. I know we left Ryan Ramczyk out, had hip surgery. Will probably be a first-round talent, and regardless, it usually takes offensive linemen a couple years. So, you know, an injury is not going to make anybody shy away from a great talent. But I think that's about it. If you have any suggestions, who you think the Seahawks should potentially draft offensive linemen, and I know this is going to be a big area for the Seahawks in this year's draft class. So please comment below. Let us know what you think about our analysis, how awful I was or this guy. And please let us know. And you know, hopefully Pete or Tom Cable or somebody, John, will read these and or watch this and see some potential guys that people around the Seattle and the Pacific Northwest like. And I think that's about it for us on this offensive line. We'll be back. Definitely pay attention and see some of our other shows. We'll see you later.
Peace.